Welcome to the Alaska Weather Show. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service through a unique partnership with Alaska Public Media. It is Saturday, June 11th, 2022. And if you'd like additional weather information on top of what I provide in this broadcast, you can go to weather.gov. It'll bring you to a map of the continental U.S. with Alaska and Hawaii to the lower left. And this is an interactive point-and-click map that allows you to get forecasts, watches, warnings, advisories, and much other more weather information for just about anywhere in the country. You can check up on family and friends. On this Saturday afternoon, the big thing showing up on the continental U.S. weather map is excessive heat in the southwest and southern parts of the country. There are excessive heat warnings for areas like Death Valley, California, that could hit 120 degrees this weekend. Phoenix, that could set record highs up around 115, and Las Vegas could be up around 110. There are also red flag warnings there across the interior southwest. Orange areas across the southern plains from Texas on up into Missouri, Kansas, those are heat advisories. And there's even a tornado watch right smack dab in the middle of the country that does include Kansas City and up into southeast Nebraska, where there have been a few reports of tornadoes this afternoon. But in Alaska, the big weather story has been the wildfires that have broken out here over the past week or so, especially through southwest Alaska. It's also creating smoke. We have a bigger fire, the East Fork fire just north of St. Mary's, causing some evacuations of elders. And fortunately, we just got a team, Type 2 firefighting team deployed to that fire, so hopefully they'll be able to get that thing under control. Meanwhile, the Panhandle is going to see showers on and off this weekend and a little cooler temperatures. Also cooler temperatures working their way down along the west coast, the Bering Strait down to the outer Yukon Delta. And as we look toward the interior, we expect scattered showers in and around and north of the Alaska Range with isolated thunderstorms that still could have the potential to spark a fire, because any of these showers, they're not going to lay down a lot of rain. It's still very, very dry. We had such a dry spring after so much snow over the past winter. So conditions remain ripe for fire starts. The Yukon River also is running very high and swift, especially from Eagle down through Circle. So be aware of that if you're planning on being out on any of the area rivers, because the snow melt continues after some of the record snowpack we received during this past winter. Quick check of some FAA webcams. You can see whales there at near the Bering Strait. Low clouds, breezy conditions, north wind gusting up around just over 30 miles an hour, 34 degrees. That pocket of colder air will sink further southward. St. Mary's, where they're watching very closely the East Fork fire that has consumed over 50,000 acres since May 31st, the largest wildfire in southwest Alaska history in the lower Yukon Valley. They're getting smoke this afternoon, 54 degrees. Merrill Field and Anchorage building cumulus cloud 64. There could be some scattered showers and isolated storms as we go through the afternoon and evening there over the Chugach up through the Talkeetna Mountains, and then in the southeast Panhandle there are showers. The south end getting a pretty good dose this early mid-afternoon around Craig, with temperature only at 51 degrees. Quick check of the fire weather update. This weekend will bring cooler temperatures across the west, but temperatures will start to warm up in the east along the Alcan border. Winds will become more southwesterly on Sunday. That's better news in the southwest, because winds right now are generally out of the north, and that could change the fire spread concerns. We'll see isolated to scattered thunderstorms across the interior on Sunday, and that'll bring some scattered rain, but could also spark new fires. And overall, the outlook is for moderating weather there across the southwest, though not much rain is expected, so it'll stay dry there. But fire focus will shift toward eastern Alaska as we go through next week. And the fire danger is very high to extreme up through the Yukon Valley and Kuskokwim River basins, especially west and north of the Alaska Range, in the areas of the southwest that have already seen several fires underway. with areas of smoke impacting air quality as well. If you look at satellite imagery, there's very clear circulation there in the lower Gulf. That's in the low pressure system. There's also another little curl in the clouds working up along the outer coast of the Panhandle, serving to enhance the showers this afternoon. Also a curl up there passing through the Bering Strait. That's a mid-level low that's has a pocket of colder air aloft and at the surface that's dropping south, and that'll work its way across St. Lawrence and down towards St. Matthew and Nunavik Island as we go through tonight and early Sunday. Otherwise, you can see those weather features, low pressure well southwest of the Panhandle out of the lower Gulf. We have weak low and trough across the Alaska Range with scattered showers and isolated storms across areas of the interior. Later tonight could be a few flurries, lower clouds along the Arctic coast, generally a few scattered showers along the Alaska Range and interior. Sunday, still areas of smoke across the southwest, scattered showers and storms popping up, being most enhanced in the afternoon and evening hours. And then on Monday, we expect, again, more scattered showers and storms, and temperatures maybe slightly a little warmer there through parts of the central eastern interior. Lows tonight generally in the 40s across south central areas in the Panhandle. We'll keep readings mainly in the 60s for south central, maybe 65 or so in Anchorage, as well as over on northern Panhandle around Skagway, Haines, but cooler 50s there, southern half the Panhandle with more showers. Monday morning lows generally in the 40s, though it may stop near 50 in Anchorage Bowl. And temperatures on Monday, 50s, lower 60s in the Panhandle. Will probably be still some lingering clouds and showers. Temperatures generally 60s. They could squeak out a 70-degree reading, if not at Talkeetna on over toward Glen Allen. Lows tonight below freezing along the North Slope, Arctic coast, westernmost end of the Seward Peninsula. 40 plus along south of the Yukon River. Could be up around 70 or so during the day Sunday for Fairbanks on over toward Eagle Northway, but readings stay in the 30s along the Arctic coast and northern western areas of Seward Peninsula. Lows again generally 40s along the Yukon River, near or a bit below freezing there along the Arctic coast, and temperatures Monday afternoon will be up around or just above 70 across central and east central areas of the state toward the Alcan border, hence a little more threat of fire danger. And then for Sunday morning, lows generally 30s to some 40s along the west side of the Alaska Range in the southwest. Temperatures along the Kuskokwim River Basin into the 60s. Can't rule out an isolated 70-degree reading, but cooler temperatures along the outer southwest coast, lower Yukon Delta, generally lower mid-40s. Monday morning, lows stay above freezing, upper 30s to some 40s. And then temperatures Monday afternoon will be warmest just on the west side of the Alaska Range, McGrath, up there around 65. Generally 40s to near 50 there through the lower Yukon Basin. And a quick check of the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook leading up into the solstice, June 17th through the 21st, is looking for temperatures to average a bit above normal south central and southwest parts of the mainland, and a little below normal there for the Panhandle. And precipitation should average a little above normal across much of the mainland, meaning some scattered showers and isolated storms, and a little below normal for the southern portion of the Panhandle.
And now, aviation weather around Alaska.
Well, let's check out your aviation weather. If you have a flight planned Sunday or on Monday, the main weather features will be an area of colder air working its way southwestward from the North Slope down across through the Bering Strait and along the west side of the state into the northern Bering Sea. This is going to create areas of IFR conditions. Meanwhile, low pressure that's to the southwest of the Panhandle will continue to pump moisture up that way in the form of showers, some thicker clouds, and potential for some icing there, especially northern Panhandle up into northwest Canada. And then the possibility of scattered showers and thunderstorms, cumulus buildups there through the middle upper Yukon Valley down through the Tanana Valley, especially on the north side of the Alaska Range on Sunday afternoon. We expect IFR conditions to continue there through the Bering Strait, St. Lawrence Island, as well as along areas of the Gulf Coast and back through the lower Bering and Aleutians. Monday morning morning, IFR conditions rather widespread across the southwestern half of the Gulf, Bristol Bay on up toward the Bering Strait and St. Lawrence, as well as again out across the central western Aleutians. And then Monday afternoon, more cumulus buildup, scattered showers and thunderstorms from along the south side of the Brooks Range, from the middle Yukon Valley to the Alcan border on up the Tanana Valley to areas like Northway and Tok. Widespread IFR conditions out over the Gulf and also again continuing through the Bering Strait. Past conditions though on Sunday, Anaktuvuk Pass on the north side will see IFR conditions to start, giving way to MVFR conditions. South entrance will generally be MVFR going to VFR, but as you fly further south toward the Yukon River, expect some cumulus buildups, scattered showers, isolated storms. Same thing for the south entrance there at Adigan Pass. The north entrance, though, IFR becoming MVFR there in the morning. And then Lake Clark and Merrill, generally VFR conditions are expected, though Merrill could start out, Lake Clark could start out with MVFR conditions on Sunday morning. And then Rainy Pass, generally VFR conditions are anticipated, as will be Windy and Isabel Pass. But as you get north of the Alaska Range, getting out there in the Tanana Flats and on up through areas of the Yukon Valley, expect cumulus buildups and a chance of scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. Isabel Pass, though, should generally see VFR conditions on Sunday. Further south and west, Mentasta Pass, also, again, the same situation with as you go south, VFR conditions, but as you fly north, up north of the Alaska Range, cumulus buildups, scattered showers, a few thunderstorms. And then further south and west, Tanita Pass, generally VFR conditions are anticipated to hold there Sunday, as they will at Portage Pass. And then finally, the northern end of the Panhandle at Chilkoot and White, expect generally MVFR conditions during the day on Sunday. Freezing levels, surface freezing line runs down there through the lower Chukchi Sea, eastern Russia, Bering Strait. Freezing levels are lowest with this pocket of cold air rotating southwestward from the north slope down across the Bering Strait into the northern Bering Sea, at or below 2,000 feet. Freezing levels are highest back up through north central Canada and come back down toward between 4,000 and 6,000 feet there in the Panhandle and near 6,000 feet in the central Aleutians. Greatest threat for icing will be areas of northwest Canada down through the northern Panhandle, 7,000 to 14,000 feet. That's just where the thicker cloud cover that's producing precipitation, showers, rain continuing across areas of the Panhandle. Scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms through the middle Yukon valleys up through the Tanana, north side of the Alaska Range. Colder pocket of air creating some lower clouds, fog, freezing, icing potentially between 1,000 and 4,000 feet and some of that lower cloudiness. And then a low pressure area south of the Alaska Peninsula, North Pacific there, 8,000 to 16,000 feet. Upper level jet stream winds not especially strong at 30,000 feet. We see a low pressure circulation though there around Norton Sound. Colder air rotating down along the backside of that 700 millibar level. And at 3,000 feet, we continue to see that low pressure circulation around Norton Sound. Also one southwest there of the Panhandle with winds to 40 knots south of it there along the Gulf and North Pacific interface. On the backside there through the Bering Strait, we do anticipate the potential for some turbulence from the surface to 3,000 feet. Down around Nunavik Island and maybe the outer southwest coast in the vicinity of the Yukon Flats. So that wraps up your flying weather. If you do have a flight, I wish you a safe one if you are able to get out.
Cadets, and welcome to the Okeanos Explorer. I'm Debbie, and I'm an ocean explorer. I work for NOAA, which stands for the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Together with many other people, I work on this ship and we explore the deep sea. How do we do that? Let's go find out.
Octonauts, let's do this.
The pressure in the ocean is so great humans can't go there, so we send a special robot. Cadets, meet Deep Discoverer, our special robot for ocean exploration. And this is Chris. He works with Deep Discoverer. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Debbie.
Can you tell us about what Deep Discoverer does?
Sure. So this is Deep Discover, and today we're going to take Deep Discover up to 4 miles down to the ocean floor so you can see what Deep Discoverer sees.
And how do we do that?
We do that by using these powerful cameras and powerful lights.
That's neat. And what is that?
And this is our manipulator arm, and we use this arm to take biological and geological samples that we store up front in these boxes, and so that we can bring them to the surface so scientists can analyze them.
Wow, isn't that cool, Cadets? Wow! Now that we know more about the special robot that explores the seafloor, let's find out more about the ship. Cadets, let's do this. Now let's find out what we do with D2's video. Come along. This is the control room. A lot of things about D2 happen in here. Behind me you see the pilots. They steer D2 on the seafloor. And over here we have scientists. Hi Steve and Stacy.
Hi, this is Steve and I'm Stacy and we are marine biologists.
Can you tell us about the work you do here?
We actually look at the videos collected by the robots and we try to identify organisms along with other scientists on the shore.
What are you looking at right now?
We're actually looking at a sea star.
That's so awesome, thank you. Now let's look at how we make maps of the seafloor.
Excellent, Quasi. A good map helps you to get to places you've never been.
We also have a scientist on board who makes maps of the seafloor. Hi Derek.
Hi Debbie.
Can you tell us about your work?
Sure. My job on the ship is to make maps of the ocean floor. We do this by sending sound from the bottom of the ship. It echoes off the seafloor and comes back to the ship. And then from that, we can make maps like this. So this is what it would look like if you were able to drain the water out of the ocean and actually see what the landscape looked like down there. We use these maps to give the vehicles a place to dive, and they explore further, just like octonauts do.
Status report, Dashi.
We're right on course, Captain.
So earlier we learned that D2 picks things up from the seafloor with his manipulator arm. Let's find out what we do with those samples. This is the wet lab, and Megan spends a lot of time here. Megan, can you tell us about your work?
I am the sample data manager, so when the ROV comes up, we go out and we collect the samples from the ROV and we bring them in here. And we try to record as much information about them as possible, everything from the details about what they look like to the environment conditions where they were found. How cold was it, for example? Then we come in and we take imagery using this microscope, and we take pictures using this camera as well. And then after we get all the pictures taken and we're ready, we prepare them for shipping to other scientists and museums so more science can be done, such as the squat lobster, this cup coral as well.
And what is that?
This is a piece of coral, or several pieces of coral, that we think might actually be a new species. So we are going to send it out for a comparison to existing species to see if we discovered something new.
Wow, you have a really cool job.
Thank you.
Fascinating. I've read about this, but I've never actually seen it.
An important part of how we explore the ocean is keeping in touch with scientists and Cadets on shore. Let's go see how we do that. Rosemary, could you tell the Cadets a little about what that dish does?
Sure. My name is Lieutenant Rosemary Abbott. I'm the operations officer aboard the Okeanos Explorer, and that is our VSAT. It stands for Very Small Aperture Terminal, and inside that satellite dome is a very powerful dish antenna that allows us to communicate with shore and share video in real time. The technology is called telepresence.
Wow, that is so interesting. Thank you, Rosemary. Now I'm getting really hungry. Let's go to the kitchen and talk about food. This is the ship's kitchen, also known as the galley. And this is Michael. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Debbie.
Michael is the chief steward on this ship, and he keeps 49 people fed for 3 weeks at a time. Michael, how do you do that?
With a lot of care and with the help of 3 crew members. I have myself, the chief steward, a chief cook, and a second cook. And we just do it with a lot of love and care and make sure that everybody's happy and well fed. We use up to 150 dozen eggs per trip, up to 100 gallons of milk, a lot of veggies and fruits, a lot of snacks. Everybody's very pleased with what we usually put out. We also make sure that we do it in a loving way, in a sanitary way, in a safe way that keeps everybody from getting any tummy aches.
I'm about to enter the ship's bridge. It's like the Octopod's headquarters.
Octonauts to the HQ.
Ahoy, Captain.
Ahoy, Debbie.
Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Octocadets, meet Eric Johnson, the commander of the ship. Eric, can you tell us about what you do up here?
Absolutely. Hello, Octocadets. My name's Eric Johnson. I'm an Corps officer, and I'm the captain of the Okeanos Explorer. Welcome to my office. This is where we drive the ship. This is where we control the operations. We run the propellers that are underneath us in the back to the wheel up here at the front, which is where we steer. It's a pretty cool job. It's very exciting, and it's pretty beautiful around here as well.
So, Octocadets, now you know a little bit about the ship and how we explore the deep sea. I hope you enjoyed our time together. I'll see you next time.
Debbie, safety first.
And now, marine weather around Alaska.
Welcome back. It's now time to look at the marine weather and the sea ice edge. The ice continues to break up there in the far northern Bering through the Bering Strait and lower Chukchi Sea. Port Clarence is essentially ice-free now, and we continue to see the ice shift around a bit and continue to melt out there in through Kotzebue Sound. And we're expecting brisker northerly winds to prevail at least overnight into early Sunday down there through the Bering Strait. Otherwise, in the southeast, with ahead of low pressure, winds will be out of the southeast to south, 15 to 20 knots in the inner channels, waves 3-4 feet. The outer coast of the Gulf, we're looking for southeast to south winds 10 to 20 knots, waves 6-7 feet, and then more westerly winds as you get Yakutat westward. Waves running about 5 feet. And then on Monday, winds will generally be southerly through the inner channels, 10 to 15 knots, waves running a couple of feet, and then more of a westerly component to the winds coming in there off the Gulf, with waves running 4 to 5 feet. On Sunday, winds will be variable, Prince William Sound around 10 knots, waves just a couple of feet. Otherwise, southwesterly off the Kenai and Kodiak at 15 knots with waves 4 or 5 feet. And then up through Cook Inlet, winds will generally have a southwesterly component, 10 to as high as 20 miles an hour there, especially northwest of Homer, and waves running 4 or 5 feet there through the lower portion of the inlet. On Monday, variable winds around 10 knots will rule off the Kenai on up through Prince William Sound with waves running a couple of few feet. Easterly winds, though, of 15 to 20 knots there at the entrance of Cook Inlet with waves of 5 to 6 feet, and then more southwesterly winds as you get up through the north half of Cook Inlet. Sunday, winds will be southwest to westerly, 15 to 20 knots across much of Kodiak Island and the Alaska Peninsula, waves 4 or 5 feet on the North Pacific Gulf side and 2 to 3 feet on the Bristol Bay Bering side. For Monday, winds mixed bag, variable 10-15 knots around Kodiak Island, but more of a northwesterly component to 20 knots there along the Bering side and the southern portion of the peninsula down through the Gulf, northern portion of the Pacific there with waves running 5-6 feet. The eastern Aleutians will see winds either variable or north-northwesterly 10 to 15 knots, waves 3-4 feet, and then more northwesterly 15 to 20 knots through the central Aleutians with waves generally 4 feet. And on Monday, there will be winds that are out of the northeast across the eastern Aleutians, 15 to 20 knots, waves 5-6 feet, winds kind of more of a westerly component as we get to the mid and western Aleutians at 15 knots, and waves again around 3 to 4 feet. Along the southwest coast, winds will be as high as 20 to 25 knots from the north on Sunday. And as we go into Monday, those winds will try to turn a little more westerly into Norton Sound, as well as they're in the vicinity of Nunavik Island at around 15 to 20 knots. And waves are going to generally run in the 3 to 5 foot range there across the open waters of the Bering. And then along the Arctic and northwest coast, look for northeasterly winds 10 to 15 knots. Still ice in place there along the Arctic coast, but breaking up and melting off there through the lower Chukchi Sea. Look for north winds accelerating through the Bering Strait, 25 knots to the north side of St. Lawrence Island. And then on Monday, winds will generally be out of the east-northeast, 15 to 20 knots along the Arctic and northwest coast from Kaktovik down through Point Ley, and then turning more northerly through the lower Chukchi Sea and Bering Strait at 25 knots, and waves where there is some open water 4 to 5 feet. Sunday's weather map shows weak low pressure along the Alaska Range, lower Yukon Delta and Valley, with scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms across areas of the interior and along either side of the Alaska Range. Low pressure will be just southwest of the Panhandle, bringing areas of rain or rain showers to the Panhandle on Sunday. Cooler air continues to dive southward along the outer southwest coast and eastern Bering Sea. On Monday, low pressure develops in the vicinity of Kotzebue Sound and the Seward Peninsula in response to an upper level low. Coldest air there out over the lower Chukchi Sea. Scattered showers and storms interior and along and south of the Alaska Range, with another low riding up just south of the Alaska Peninsula and Kodiak Island. Thank you for watching, and join me again tomorrow night.
These forecasts are for planning purposes only. Call 1-800-WX-BRIEF for a formal pre-flight briefing. Always file a flight plan before you go flying. The U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary urges you to leave a float plan with a friend or the harbor master before you go boating.